I'm afraid you didn't understand me when I said bring me the corn. I meant bring me all the corn.
Welcome to amorephillyunion, the podcast where everything's coming up threes. This is episode 30 for us for the year. We're recording on July 30th. And
we've hit our 3,000 downloads. Yay!
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 And to help us help the U Challenge, our goal to get 3,000 downloads. And when we do, we'll be making a donation to the Philadelphia Union Foundation. We hit that goal on Monday. I checked, we were at 3,001.
Nice.
So we've officially done it.
Yay!
Cowbells.
Yay!
And there was much rejoicing.
Thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you for any donations you may have made. We have made ours. We are excited.
Yeah. We did as promised. We made our donation. I know we'll have to kick around the idea about doing some stretch goals with the rest of the season. This is the fastest we've hit this number. Yeah, and it's all thanks to you guys. Our numbers are definitely more this season than last season. It's been, it's a fun little project, fun little journey. It's fun just seeing it grow. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So thank you everyone for tuning in, for downloading, and thank you for helping us help the union. And if you'd like to do that personally and directly, you can just go over to the Philadelphia Union Foundation website. That's www.philadelphiaunionfoundation.org. And I know they've seemed to change it around a little bit. There's a donate button on there somewhere, and it's pretty easy to find. So go ahead and make a donation, send some love, and tell them a More Philly Union sent you.
There it is.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Feel like we hit it earlier this season than last season, even though it was a larger download goal.
Absolutely. I mean, last year we did 1,000 downloads. I think it took us until like October to hit it. This year we did 2,000 more downloads, and we hit it. My personal goal was getting it done before August, and man, we just came in under the wire. I have a little bit of wiggle room. So yeah.
Yeah, we had a whole 3 days of wiggle room. Yeah.
Hey, by my standards, that's tons of time.
If it's not due tomorrow, it's not due.
That's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's jump right in. League's Cup opener, Union 1, Charlotte 0 on Saturday, July 27th.
Beautiful day at the park.
Beautiful day. First non-extreme weather day.
Yeah.
I think. Well, except for maybe one that E and I have had, that's for sure. It was either really hot or really cold for almost every match we've been to this season. But as a result, we actually, and because the curse has been broken, we hit up Union Yards for the first time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So it was actually quite nice. So enjoyed that quite a bit. I guess it's safe to say that now. We won't be tarred and feathered for having contributed.
What was it? I know we got the burger, which was pretty good. What else?
Street corn and loaded tater tots. I mean, how can you go wrong?
The loaded tater tots were pretty good. That street corn, that street corn.
Yeah, I could have just eaten
really
that.
good. I would just like load it up like a magazine full of street corn and just been a happy camper. Yeah, Paul, you would have been.
You would have been head first in the it was really,
like,
really good.
So Paul, you ready to go and see the game? You're like, what game?
The game? Yeah. I'm good here.
What sport? I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure like employees are gonna come out. Sir, we need to have some for everybody else.
I'm afraid you didn't understand me when I said bring me the corn. I meant bring me all the corn.
I was explaining to someone this weekend how if you and I had grown up in the same household, there would have been a battle.
Yeah.
For corn supremacy.
This would be actually a 2-person podcast.
This is our new podcast. Corn Today with Paul and Christy.
Corn talk. Corn chat.
Oh God.
It'd be funny. This episode gets the most like responses and emails. We encourage you to pursue this idea of talking about corn.
So this was the third meeting of the Union and Charlotte this season. First Leagues Cup match, like I mentioned.
So there were two MLS meetings, and then this is the third one was this
Correct.
Leagues
Yeah, I
Cup.
believe Charlotte was the one that was our first at-home loss this season, if I remember correctly, 2-0,
You're right.
and then it was a 0-0 draw away. But it was the first goal that the Union scored against them all season, and it was an acrobatic or contortionistic one from Ty Baribo to find that spot. But once again, he just found some space in the middle of the goal box and proved that he can be deadly from short range. And somehow or another, Gajdag got him the ball. That's the most important, impressive part of that. Gajdag down at the end line, feeding a ball along the ground, somehow squeaks past a bunch of defenders, finds Baribo, and he, like I said, as a contortionist, puts it away.
100% didn't look like that was going to work at all.
100%.
Yeah. Especially from our angle. I just was sort of like, yeah, this is die on the vine, and oh no, did not. So, just some interesting things. A little bit all over the place with this game. I mean, first of all, we won. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
I do think real quick, just jump in. The lineup. I wasn't sure what to expect because I know we talked about this last week. I was half expecting maybe Kevin starting, kind of starting with some non-starters. But man, when you look at this lineup, it was
loaded.
It's full throttle. Yeah. And Sam Deneron got his first start. And we'll talk about him too in a little bit. But this lineup was, when I saw the lineup, I'm like, wow. I think I texted, it's loaded for bear. This is the crew you want when you want to get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was a little surprised as well. Our favorite Leo, whose birthday is next week, managed to get himself a pre-match yellow card, which almost made me want to stand up and clap because God love him.
So did you hear why?
I watched the replay, and did he have a ring on? Was it his wedding band?
It was his wedding ring. Apparently, for whatever reason, this referee took exception to the players wearing their wedding rings, but seemed to target the Union players because apparently there were a number of Charlotte players that were running around for like 30 some odd minutes with their wedding bands on, and the referee never said anything. I think Martinez got the card because when he was told that he had to unwrap the ring and take it off, he tore the tape off and like threw it at the ground, kind of in the direction of the referee, and that's what the referee gave him the card for.
Okay,
all right, that makes sense.
Less about the ring and more about Martinez's
the attitude
solution to the problem. So, because I've never seen him play. I mean, it's fairly common to see players out there with tape wrapped around their ring or wedding ring or whatnot. So I guess this ref, like you said, takes a particular.
It's in the rules. I mean, technically, according to the rules, you're not supposed to wear any jewelry of any sort. He's not necessarily wrong to enforce it. It's just one of those rules that, especially for wedding bands, they tend to turn a blind eye to.
Yeah.
Yes, apparently, I guess shortly after that, Kai was also seen going to the side to take his ring off, which I didn't notice in the stadium. But
yeah, I mean, in Curtin's post-game press conference, he made a remark about the referee and this odd ruling on this rule and some of the other calls, like Bedoya's card that Curtin thought was really, really, really soft. And he still doesn't understand why Gajdag got the card that he got, because yes, he said something, but it wasn't particularly loud, and it certainly wasn't off color according to Curtin. I don't know what he didn't say what Gajdag said.
All right, because that's in my notes too about the yellow card Gajdag on question mark.
Yeah.
truly don't know why he got it.
Well, and that did draw the ire of the fans for sure. Apparently, anybody else getting a yellow card is one thing, but Gazdag is not to be touched.
Mm.
He is the golden boy. So, because yeah, people were really upset about that. I don't know if it was the nature of it or if it was because it's Gazdag, because he's not really one to.
No.
Anecdotally speaking, not having checked the numbers, doesn't seem like one I think of as drawing cards. So
He's on the Harris Meduninin and Latu side of the spectrum. I know I can never get that last name right.
so close.
Yeah.
It's not the
it's not very
easiest.
common for Gazdag to get the yellow card.
No, it isn't. So
And Harris, I'm sorry for butchering your last name. And you really were one of my favorite players on the team, and there's just no excuse.
yeah, it's true. That's true.
I blame genetics.
But like a nice little callback for Martinez. I've enjoyed that. Didn't love that it came before the game even started, but he did manage to hold it together for the rest of the match. So some other things. Probably one of the bigger things was protest by another protest, different kind of protest this time from the Sons of Ben. We talked about it a little bit last week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
As the way we happened to park and walked in, we actually did see a banner laying on the ground that they had just painted and was drying with fans blowing on it and everything. And it didn't make a lot of sense when we were outside the stadium, but it did once the protest started. So as we had mentioned last week, Sons of Ben said that they would support up until the 20th minute, 10th second, or I guess 20 minutes and 10 seconds into the game, do the Four-Leaf Clover song. And then when that was over, they were going to stop officially supporting. Like SOBs could do their thing, but they weren't going to have the drums and the people on ladders and all, the capos and all that kind of thing going. So it was also interesting. They did indeed do that. They did pack up. There's a banner that they have something. I actually don't fully understand it. Something about when we do something about rain. It falls like rain. I'm sure it's a song lyric. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm not that hip. But anyway, they took that away entirely. There was already a banner on the other side that said, "We want the cup." And when they got to that point, they flipped over the sign we had seen in the parking lot, which was the rest of that sign that said the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah.
Which was kind of entertaining. Like I said, a lot of folks left. Not all of them by any means, but the ultras who are in section 140, took their drum, carried it down to where the Sons of Ben's drum section, if you will, normally is, and took up the charge. They absolutely refused to stop cheering. So, a couple things about ultras. I was actually talking with someone about, not someone, our friend and fan, Nate, not Paul's son, different Nate, but
fan of the pod,
friend of the pod. So we were talking a little bit about the ultras and who are the ultras. So I did look into it as much as I could. There isn't a lot to find, except basically they're a supporters group that has no affiliation with or ties to the union itself, like the Sons of Ben do. No official ties, or very few at least. So they go their own way and basically support the team. Sounds like hell or high water. They're not going to stop because of being upset about lineups and who were getting transfers and that kind of thing. They're just going to support. They don't care what the tournament is. If the union's playing, they're there. So pretty small from everything I've been able to discover. Really not that many people in it, but did manage to carry a lot of the cheering that went on from there on. Did get cheers going and get that kind of thing happening. I mean, ultras, if you know anything about, you guys, I'm sure we have listeners who are very versed in this kind of thing. Ultras is often a suffix that is attached to like extreme supporter groups and can have political connotations in some countries and things, and it can get real out of hand. Sometimes there have been violent connotations. I don't think our ultras are that level of ultra. I think their ultra seems mostly just that they will support the team, period, and politics and other things aside. And by politics, I mean politics within the organization, not anything
Right.
else. So that's all I've been able to glean. I'm actually going to continue to keep an eye out. They don't have a lot of presence that I can see. So maybe you have to be
I
in
think you just have to
in
sit in that
Ultras Fight Club
section.
to know
Yeah,
the
I think it
rules.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe that's all it is. But they seem to be leading the charge, and I assume they will be leading the charge through whatever level of Leagues Cup we get to. There's definitely one more match, which is this coming Saturday the 4th against Cruz Azul, the other team in our group. But so I imagine they'll be running the show at the river end. But beyond that,
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It felt like effectively this protest was, to use your phrase, Paul, absolutely toothless. Because the song was sung, I like couldn't really hear it. And there was some general migration of some people out of the Sons of Ben section. Pretty much nobody in the other sections of the stadium left. And then through some sort of like cell division process, like the ultras, which were packed into that corner, they just filled in. They just filled in the Sons of Ben section. So effectively, it was like there was no change in the number of people there. And in fact, it just got louder. And like Christy, like you said, their drummers took the place where the Sons of Ben drummers were. And if you're just someone in the stands watching the game and didn't know anything about this, I don't think you would have noticed anything. In fact, you would have noticed it probably got a little bit louder and rowdier. So I don't know if the Sons of Ben are kind of looking at the ultras like, "Hey, man, thanks for cutting the legs out from underneath our protest." But I don't know if they're saying that or not. But yeah, I think whatever desired effect they wanted with that protest, I don't see how it worked. I'm not saying it shouldn't or shouldn't have. I'm just saying without paying any attention, the game just rocked on like usual.
well, it's difficult to tell too if the people who stayed but stopped cheering were still Sons of Ben, folks, or people who had just gotten tickets for the river end.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, a lot of them were clapping, doing the cheers as well. So I don't, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened there, but it was somewhat toothless. There was a whole feeling in the stadium to me. I think of this being an other game. This did not feel quite like a full league game to me. There were fewer people in the seats in general, like just everywhere, not just River End and the hardcore supporters, but it wasn't as well attended as some other matches. So I don't know what that's down to. But supposedly there were some season ticket holders who were giving up their tickets in protest too, but I don't think there is any data on whether that's true or anecdotal.
Yeah.
I do wonder if the fireworks were selected for this night to try to drum up extra people in the seats.
Yeah.
It definitely helped that it was a very mild night for a late July night, a very pleasant night to be down on the river. And a chance to see some fireworks probably would have drawn in. And then the fact that it's not like they were playing Cruz Azul this night. It was Charlotte. So it's not like they got overrun by the visiting team's fans. So it's good to hear that the environment was supportive of the team. I do agree. I think the protest, I mean, let's be honest, like the team's going to do what the team's going to do. The management's going to do what the management's going to do. We have relatively little pull on that, but
yeah.
I appreciate them trying to make their desires known. I don't know what effect that will have. Maybe it'll have some. Maybe people will listen. I mean, Curtin has always been pretty straightforward. He kind of speaks his mind, whether it's good for him or not.
Mhm.
And I think he shares a lot of sentimentality that most Philadelphia fans would share watching a team like this and supporting a team like this. So, I think he's a big representative of the Philadelphia fan in the team already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they've got 3 straight wins. I mean, that's, to be honest, that's impressive to turn it around. Now, granted, 2 of those were the league, in the league, and then this one is in the League's Cup. Still lots to improve. So it'd be nice to see that defense lock down more. But yeah, I mean, I don't really feel the need to give the protest a whole lot of voice at this point, since it didn't really seem to have an impact.
Mm.
I will throw on one more thing here. So yeah, one interesting thing, talking about the putting this in friendly air quotes protest. But I got an email. I don't know about you guys. I got an email yesterday from the Philadelphia Union. There's going to be a town hall discussion on August 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. And I guess they're inviting people to come down and share their opinions, join in discussion about I guess what things are going on. But yeah, so as they say, this is a unique opportunity for Union fans to hear from Union executives. So apparently Jay Sugarman's going to be there. Leibovich is going to be there. Ernst Tanner will be there. Tim McDermott will be there. There are limited spots. You have the RSVP. So I guess it's an opportunity for some sort of public airing of the grievances. But yeah, so that's I'm curious if that's a little bit of PR damage control with respect to what's been going on with the Sons of Ben, or
I would have to take a look at what was done last year and the year before, but they always have a town hall meeting
do they? Okay.
during the season.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, they do an effort to reach out to the fans.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love it if the team was responsive to fan concerns like this. But I mean, other than bringing in Sam Medina on, they haven't, made any significant roster changes.
Yeah.
And, these things take time. It's like turning a tanker. It takes a long time to make these changes. And when you make the changes, you don't know if they're going to actually work out. I mean, they brought in, what is the name? The guy that they just transferred out, Odaba. What was his name? Richard Odata. They paid money to bring him in. He took up an international roster spot. Never saw the field.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he couldn't make the change. Sam obviously has made an impact. He got a substitute in the first game he was available. He got a sub spot, and then he got a starting role in this League's Cup game. He was the one person on the field as a starter who hadn't started for the Union at some point during the season.
Right.
Which is great. Give Aura a chance to get a bit of a rest, and Sam a chance to get on and run. And he looked dangerous through the first part of the game. Still definitely finding his feet, but we'll see. I don't think it's the last move that the Union will make in this transfer window. I'm hopeful that Ernst has some other targets in mind, especially since transferring Odata frees up I think it frees up an international roster slot. Maybe they'll be bringing somebody in that would need that roster slot. Could be. I don't know.
It is funny that you mentioned the airing of the grievances, though, because there was a Philly Union meme account that used that exact clip from Seinfeld with the announcement of that. They had a little piece about the announcement of the town hall meeting, and then had, Jerry Stiller there saying, "I have things to say,"
So let's talk about the game.
Yeah, let's talk about the game a little bit. I'll just to kind of build off what you're saying, Paul. Sam Adeniran, Christy and I, when we were at the game watching it, it's just, man, that guy, he was playing hungry. He wanted to score so bad, and
he's got big,
and he's got a heavy foot. There was that one shot on goal he took in the second half where he kind of was just like at the edge of the 18 box, and the ball came to his feet, and it was right there at his feet. Defenders were closing in pretty quick. He had enough time just to turn and just get a shot off just without even much room to wind up. And man, that was still a bullet of a shot. Yeah, I really want to see him. Well, I want to see him get a goal because hey, that helps us. But I want to see him get a goal because man, he is working hard to get one.
He's the handful out there for those defenders. I mean, he's at 6'4". I think he was around 200 pounds. He's a big guy. He's going to be a big body to push around. He's definitely going to scare some of those bigger, some of those lighter center backs in the league. And he seems to have some decent set of, he's got some speed to him as well. He's still trying to figure out exactly where he needs to make his runs. That was obvious. There were a couple of moments there where he was in the same space as other Union players. But he seems to also have a pretty good head about him. So I'm hoping that, those accidents, while they may happen, those mistakes may happen. Hopefully they only happen once or twice. And he can continue to develop and show his quality. I do think it was interesting. There was an article on the Union's news page about that. Apparently, Ernst Tanner has been following Sam for the last 4 years.
Really?
He's been tracking him from his time in Germany because Ernst was watching a lot of American players while they were over in Europe. And then he got word that, Sam moved back to MLS. He came in through Seattle, Seattle's second team, and then got drafted by St. Louis in the expansion draft and had some success there. So when the opportunity came around that, they heard that Sam might be available, might be on the outs. They kind of, once again, it's typical Moneyball. Grab a guy who's got low current valuation for a high possible upside. Definitely was interesting.
It was interesting that when they subbed him out, it really, just sitting there, it looked like he was really, like E said, hungry, but it almost looked like he was starting to find his footing. And then it was like coming in for, it was like, really, right now? Okay. I'm sure they had a plan. I'm sure there's a comprehensive, but yeah, he was really just finding his feet, I thought. I don't know, but yeah, definitely an imposing presence, interesting acquisition. Hopeful for the future with him.
I think the other thing about this game of note was the pitch itself. I know Christian, when we sat down, we kind of were looking at like, man, this grass, this pitch looks kind of rough. We are over halfway through the season. It definitely takes a beating throughout the whole season, but it looked particularly beat up.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been other events at Subaru Park over the summer, but it's definitely looking drier out there for July than you would expect, especially with a built-in sprinkler system, which I'm assuming they're using more than just a little bit at halftime. Although Dean Smith in his post-game conference, he actually did make some snide comments regarding the turf there. Something about he's seen carports with better, that were better to play on than the turf that was out there.
Yeah, if Ernie Stewart weren't still alive, he'd be spinning in his grave. So I'm saying, he hated it when we used the stadium for anything other than the matches, and I was just thinking of him and how upset he used to be when there would be a concert or something, whatever things they would farm out the pitch for. So.
Yeah, I remember he did not want the pitch used for anything else other than Union soccer games.
Yeah, and it looked chewed up from the jump. Jokes are better when you have to explain them. But I said if he weren't still alive, he'd be spinning in his grave.
Gotcha.
Get it?
It's the third time today that somebody has had to explain a joke to me. My brain is just fried.
Well, it wasn't that great a joke.
Well, Paul, if it's any consolation, when Chrissy said that, I remember
I could see in Eric's eyes, he was like,
wait,
what?
He's still alive. But then I decided just not to say anything. And then when you
I'll readily admit when I do something dumb.
I 100% thought I got his name wrong because I couldn't remember it up until the last second anyway.
Yeah.
So
the quizzical look on my face was, wait, I think he's still alive, right? Because I was totally misunderstanding what you were saying.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, you give me a lot of quizzical looks.
Yeah.
So I wasn't quite
Yeah.
sure what we were
Yeah.
referencing here. But yeah, so
So rough pitch.
a rough pitch for sure.
Yeah, definitely a rough pitch for the teams out there. And not a lot of shots. Certainly not a lot of shots on
Mm-mm.
the target. So it was an ugly game. I would agree with Dean Smith on that. It was definitely an ugly game between the two, but the Union start looking good. They didn't let Charlotte get any shots on target this time, which was great.
In that way, it wasn't ugly. This game, I felt, I mean, maybe also because I'm not super invested in Leagues Cup, but I felt comfortable this game.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like, oh, we're absolutely going to win this, slam dunk, might as well go home. But I didn't feel threatened either. Like other games where I was like white knuckling it. This one just felt like we were going to win.
Yeah,
After that goal, especially.
yeah, it would have been nice
Yeah.
if they could have gotten a second half goal
Sure.
just to make it simpler and
Yeah.
such. But yeah, I mean, Charlotte never ended up with a shot on frame, and it's hard to lose when you don't give up a shot worth saving, that needed
Yeah.
saving.
So the job of the players, particularly the defense, is to make Blake's game as boring as possible. And it was I felt the same way in the sense I wasn't too worried during this game. I would have liked us to get that second goal just to really that insurance that we're gonna walk away with the 3 points. But yeah, I liked how we played. Baribo really seems to be making opportunities, being productive. Deneron is like, man, it's only a matter of time. It feels like does feel like there's a floodgate that can be opened and a whole bunch of goals can come from that guy. But yeah, and then the fact that this was our third win in a row, it's a shot in the arm we need. We still got a way to go. This win is only for Leagues Cup, so it kind of doesn't really matter, but
Yep.
it's a step in the right direction.
And I would also say the whole defense, all the four on the back line and Martinez, all had very solid games in this one.
Yeah.
And Mbaizo continues to thrive with Harriel not being available.
Yeah.
Wagner continues to show that he's if not the best, one of the best left backs in the league.
Yeah.
And then Elliott and Glasness are just reestablishing that chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah.
Martinez and Blake, that made them the defender. Crazy good tandem that they were a couple of years back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, even with Glesnes, I mean, when Kirsty, when we were sitting there, I pointing out that number, I don't remember the guy's name, so number 33 and number 38 for Charlotte, they caused so many problems the last time they played us. They were running that game. And in this game on Saturday, Glesnes was absolutely like marking them and shutting them down, which was good to see. It was good to see because it was a good, solid strategy. It was effective, but two, it was showing that, yeah, Glesnes still has step. He can still get there. He can shut people down. It's kind of, it was good seeing old Jacob Glesnes out there doing his thing. So,
oh, real quick, did you stick around for the fireworks?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
How were they?
Good.
Yeah. They were good.
No, they were really, really nice. I mean, it's kind of standard 20-minute show kind of thing, but
Good.
they did a really nice job.
Yeah, if you want to hear all about it, we started a new podcast.
Fireworks today.
Called
Post Game Fireworks Today. No, it was a good show. We enjoyed it.
Boom boom at the Subaru.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah.
It feels like this summer with like the fireworks shows we've seen, there's like new fireworks this year. Like the colors are slightly different.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more like in between colors and just new like configurations. Like there's that one that's like when it explodes, it looks like this like golden palm tree as the little arms of golden glitters go out. This show, I've never seen this before. It was just like that, except it was red.
Huh.
It was really, really cool. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it's talking about fireworks probably doesn't do them justice, but yeah, but it's still, it was a good show. I'm often reminded that there were at least two big fireworks producers in Central PA at one time, and they used to have fireworks shows every Friday to try out their new products because apparently there is always developing firework technology.
Nice.
Who knew?
Yeah.
And so you could go and bring your lawn chair and sit and watch the fireworks shows at the fireworks
I just
factories.
listened to a TED Talk. It was a recent one on TED Daily, and it was about a guy who uses gunpowder to make art. And one of the things he does is daytime fireworks,
Okay.
All right.
where instead of using the explosions and colors to get the effect, it actually has to do with the smoke trails that this fireworks leave and the explosions make. So they have to be relatively still days, and he makes some pretty interesting looking stuff. I'd never heard of daytime fireworks shows
Yeah.
before, and it was kind of interesting. But no, I'm glad that the Union had a good show. It's 20 minutes is definitely a good length of a show. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if there was any drone interaction or if they did anything like that, or if it was just classic awesome explosions.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yep.
much it.
Good
Although
old fashioned blowing stuff up.
They did have a drone flying around, I think, trying to get some cool video.
Yeah, they
I
do a
saw
good job
one
with that.
buzzing around. I couldn't tell if it was actually trying to fly through the fireworks or near it, but
I know when I go to the games, I'm always, it always makes a couple of appearances, and Nate and I are always checking out to see where it's at
yeah.
anytime it goes around. Cool.
Oh, one thing real quick then. So just as a update or reminder for the whole Leagues Cup, I did a little bit of homework. I'm pretty much talking for myself here because I didn't know any of these things. So there's 15 groups in this Leagues Cup tournament, 3 teams per group. The top 2 teams from each group move on to the round of 32. If you do the math, that's only 30 teams because the remaining 2 teams are both Club America and Columbus Crew.
Mm-hmm.
So they're automatically buyed into the round of 32. So currently the Union is sitting at the top of our group, with Cruz Azul and
Charlotte.
So
And they play tomorrow. Charlotte and Cruz Azul play tomorrow in Charlotte.
So depending on how that game goes, if Cruz Azul beats Charlotte, then we're going to be sitting pretty good, I think.
Well, that will get us through. If Cruz Azul wins tomorrow,
we're through.
then Cruz Azul and the Union are through.
Yeah. That's really just a battle of who finishes first in the group then. So
the battle of who could care less. No. Hey, Leagues Cup.
Another song option.
So yeah, I know we've had our say about Leagues Cup, but it is a chance to win some hardware. It's a chance to win a berth to the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I expect Curtin's getting instructed to play seriously, especially since there won't be any MLS season games until the end of August.
Mhm.
So may as well keep the guys playing so that they
Yeah.
can be sharp once the season resumes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we shall see come Saturday or Sunday when Cruz Azul comes to Philly. It will be interesting to see what the stands look like too. If it's a lot of Cruz Azul fans,
Mhm.
or if it is a Union dominated fan.
But I think it will be interesting, right? Because as season ticket holders, we were given the first game of Leagues Cup, but now everything going forward, it's everyone's gonna have to buy tickets. It's not like season ticket holders get tickets to these games either. So yeah, hard to tell which ways is gonna go for this game on Sunday. I don't know. I'd wager a cup of coffee. There might be. Well, I think there's gonna be a healthy Cruz Azul turnout, but hopefully we show up in force.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any Olympic stuff people want to talk about real quick?
Well, we could talk about the boys in the Olympics if you wanted to.
Oh yeah. So where's the men's team? I saw something.
They
made it out of group.
All right.
So there's not a whole lot of other Union news we want to talk about this week, but representing the Union, Paxton Aronson, Jack McGlynn, and Nate Harriel. I believe Harriel's played every minute of the U.S. game so far, and they have earned enough points to advance out of the group stage and into the quarterfinals, I think is what the next stage is as far as
Yeah, I think so.
eliminations. And so yeah, the US is moving on out of their group, which is, not insignificant, as it's the first time the US has had a team in the Olympics, or sorry, the men's team in the
Yeah.
Olympics in a couple of rounds. And it's nice to see the Union with basically three players that came up in the Union academies, representing the US in the Olympics. It's great. Good for them.
Yeah, so the U.S. men's national soccer team has returned to the Olympic Games for the first time in 16 years.
Yeah,
Dear
that would do
Lord, I
it.
can't believe it's been that long.
2008. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I saw the header about being since 2008, I'm thinking like, oh, it's the first time since 2008 we've made it to the knockout round. No, we haven't. I can't believe we have not been in the Olympics for that long.
Evan
For
Sullivan
for
has
the
never
men's,
seen a
to be
U.S.
clear.
men's team in the Olympics.
Oh my
Gosh.
God. Oh man.
Hold on while I lie down on the floor for a little while. Yikes. You had to do that, didn't you?
Wow.
Yep. Well,
So
good luck
wait,
to them. It's exciting to see so many people. We had actually on Saturday, was it Saturday or Sunday that they played the last game? Friends of ours were texting pictures, screenshots of their televisions as people were holding up Harriel jerseys in the
oh yeah.
stands, which was fun. And then I also saw on social that there were at least two people there with um, half Union, half US jerseys
Oh, cool.
in the stands. So they must be Philly folks. So that was fun to see. It's
That
definitely
is
a
cool.
Philly contingent there.
Hmm.
So
All right. So looking forward, the Union have Cruz Azul this weekend.
and that's a Sunday game. I think I might have said Saturday earlier, but it's a Sunday, I assume,
Yeah,
for Apple
Sunday.
reasons.
Well, I mean, if they're
Um,
playing Wednesday, they must be giving them a little extra
that's true too.
downtime to recover
That's true too.
and to make
Yeah.
the game more interesting. But it will be a 7 o'clock game on Sunday in at the Subaru Park. So
Hmm.
hopefully the Union fans will turn out, make it loud, and the Union can end up on top of their division, their group. It'd be cool. If you're going to advance, may as well advance far.
There you
Exactly.
go. That's right. Okay. Are we done?
So, real quick, going back to the Olympics, the men's national teams. The next game they're going to be playing will be August 2nd, which I believe is Friday. Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday against Morocco. So
Oh,
that is a quarterfinal match. That's at 9 a.m. local, I believe. So that's East Coast time. So,
that is
hey,
a non-trivial matchup.
yeah, let your boss know you're going to have to be out of work for a little bit this week. Yeah,
It's Paul coughing.
Paul, you're looking a little peaked there. You might need to, I guess that's a 2 hour flu, maybe extend it to 3 hours. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, how many of you guys write in, tell us, comment, have somehow found a way during work? I mean, this day and age of working from home, it's not as much of a big deal, but have done something to watch a US match or soccer match of some kind. I know once we made elaborate plans to sneak off to a cafeteria at my former workplace, and the boss found out about it and told us just to watch in the conference room. It was fine. So tell us your elaborate hoaxes in order to watch the US team or any other team of your choosing.
Nice.
That's kind of one of the perils of modern technology, right? You can just pull the game up on your phone. You can just have it on your desk while you're working or whatever,
Hmm.
whatever you do. It's I respect having all this technology does take away kind of the fun of trying to figure out a way to sneak out of work to go catch a game or coordinating with other like-minded people at work and kind of almost like have the great escape of trying to go watch a soccer game, somewhere a manager somewhere is like talking to other managers like, hey, are half your guys missing today? So are mine. Like, what's going on? Or there's always that one cool manager's like, hey, guys, I'll meet you down at the bar. Okay, cool. It's one thing that technology makes a little bit more difficult to do in that respect.
Go USA.
Go USA.
Woo.
Yeah.
USA. USA.
Well, I remember Morocco too, right? The was it the last World Cup? they had a really
Morocco
good
has
run.
done well in, I feel like, the last couple tournaments I've
Was
seen
it
them in.
they weren't no, they weren't in, yeah, was it the last World Cup where they did surprisingly well, man, and they were like the little team that could.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
sure. Yeah, that's why I say non-trivial. So,
mhm.
all right, I think that's it for this week, guys. But more Leagues Cup action to come, and here's hoping we do well. Our website is amorephillyunion.com. You can email us about skiving off work or anything else that strikes your fancy
If you have any
at
good tips, let us know.
yeah pod at amorephillyunion.com. On Instagram, YouTube, and Threads, we are amorephillyunion, and on X, we are amorephillyu. We have a ever expanding, ever becoming weirder Spotify playlist
Eh,
under
I like it.
also under Amorephilly Union playlist. It does say playlist, and it has musical notes. You guys can figure it out. I don't know. Weird's the wrong word. I need to find a better descriptive. That's too negative. But and you can get our podcast wherever you get yours at Apple, Spotify, Amazon, etc., etc., etc. So, thank you everyone once again for helping us reach 3,000 downloads. Now we
Yeah,
need a new
thank
goal.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We have to find a new goal now, though.
Yeah,
No, but truly, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Please keep it coming. Please tell us what you like and don't like about what we're doing. And we appreciate you. So, thanks again for tuning in for another episode of Amorephilly Union. We are your hosts. I'm C.
I'm E.
And I'm Paul.
Go
Union.
Catchphrase.
That's our Leo.
Yeah, that's right.
That's our Leo.